We begin with the government shutdown in the United States, which is now in its 30th day, beginning to now ripple throughout the nation. The shutdown has frozen vital government data, disrupted travel, and thrown thousands of visa applicants into uncertainty. On Thursday, the data blackout deepened as the Bureau of Economic Analysis failed to release its official GDP figures for the third quarter. Normally, this is one of the most closely watched numbers in the world, a snapshot of how the American economy is in fact doing. Its absence has left economists guessing, with estimates suggesting the growth may have cooled to around 2.8% from 3.8% in the previous quarter. Now, the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta's internal tracker puts that number slightly higher at 3.9%. But without official confirmation, policymakers, investors, and businesses are in the dark. In fact, the Federal Reserve, which sets U.S. interest rates, is now making policy without its most trusted tools. No official employment reports, no trade data, and no retail sales figures. For the first time since the 1930s, the Fed is setting monetary policy without key benchmarks.
Colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. Although some important federal government data have been delayed due to the shutdown, the public and private sector data that have remained available suggests that the outlook for employment and inflation has not changed much since our meeting in September. Conditions in the labor market appear to be gradually cooling, and inflation remains somewhat elevated.
Analysts are saying that without reliable numbers, companies could hesitate to hire or invest. Financial institutions might delay lending, and markets, which thrive on clarity, are instead navigating massive uncertainty. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that the shutdown could already cost the U.S. economy up to $14 billion. And amid these issues, President Trump called for the nuclear option of scrapping the key 60-vote threshold in the Senate to advance legislation. The move would get rid of a longstanding rule that enables 41 of the 100 senators to block any bill from debate or vote. The impact isn't just confined to data desks and boardrooms, it's now reaching the skies. Vice President J.D. Vance has warned that if the shutdown stretches until Thanksgiving, the airline industry could face a total disaster. Agencies that keep the aviation system running have missed an entire month's pay. And as a result, airports are seeing longer lines, slower security checks, and delayed maintenance approvals.
So I'm going to let our great Secretary of Transportation answer this question. Look, it could be a disaster. It really could be, because at that point you're talking about people have missed 3 paychecks. They've missed 4 paychecks. How many of them are not going to show up for work? You take the TSA lines that are already too long, even right now, and say half of those people don't show up for work, not because they're not hard workers or good people, but because they've got to find a different job to feed their families.
And adding to the woes, states like New York have even declared emergencies to fund essential services such as food banks, as federal assistance now dries up. Meanwhile, the crisis is also hitting thousands of foreign professionals, particularly Indian workers in the U.S. tech sector. According to reports, visa applicants in the U.S. have been stalled, interviews canceled, and hiring frozen. Making matters worse, a new $100,000 fee on certain visa petitions has left employers hesitant to file new applications. Immigration lawyers say this combination, a costly new rule and a paralyzed bureaucracy, is putting foreign families under enormous stress. For now, the world's largest economy remains half blind, with key economic figures in limbo. Economists warn that the longer the shutdown drags on, the harder it will be to recover lost ground. So as the political standoff in Washington continues, the question is no longer about which side blinks first. It's about how long the United States and those who depend on it can function without facts, without data, and without direction.
Want the facts?
The latest developments?
News that gets straight to the point.
Well, we've got all 3 just for you. This is Firstpost Live, a brand new show, your window into what really matters.
Don't miss it.